Hi, this is Sarah from South Bay Artist Studio. Today we are going to make mandala stones, and I will be instructing you and showing you my technique. So enjoy. I am back online and I would like to share with you how to do your meditative mandala stone. Now, meditative mandala stone painting is, an ancient technique of creating circles and circular meditation through a repetition. And this repetition is painting dots, which I think absolutely anyone can do. I find it very relaxing and very comforting. So here's what I'm gonna do. Usually I pick 3 colors and, well, let's back up. First of all, you may or may not have your kit, and your kit would have contained a number of tools, little dowels, and little tools that you can use with very tiny points and balls on the tips so that you can paint in a very systematic and clean way. If you don't have that, there are plenty of things around your house you can find. For example, you can use toothpicks. Now this is kind of a cocktail toothpick. You can use a regular toothpick. Some toothpicks have little balls on the ends. You can use the end of a nail. The end of a nail makes a really nice, perfect round dot. You can use the end of a paintbrush. So there can be graduating sizes of your dots. You can also use paintbrushes. You can use your dot and your tool, whatever you find, and make a dot and fill it in with a paintbrush to round it out. You can use the end of a pencil. So there are plenty of things around you can use if you don't have the kit. So it's kind of like a fun little scavenger hunt. You can go check it out, check out your house. Make sure you check with your parents if you're kids that you can use what, they have. One of my nephews might have taken a makeup brush that probably shouldn't have used. But anyway, there you go. You can use all kinds of other things, but I have my tools here. And my tools, again, are varying sizes. And then what I do, I also sometimes like to have a set of marking pens, and these are metallic pens, which work too. They're kind of different colors of metallic, and you can use them to set your dots initially, and then go back and use the paint over your dots. So I'm gonna lay those out. You need very little paint to start off with. So here's my little paint container, and I'm doing a teeny little, if I can get it out, a little drop of paint like that. Not much, because your dots are not very big. And again, I'm using 3 colors. I just think it's easier to do 3 colors and white. There's my second little dot of paint. And my third, I'm gonna use this turquoise. These are all some of my really favorite colors. So there you go. Those are my 3 dots in my little palette. If you don't have a palette, feel free to use like paper cups or anything plastic, anything that you can wash off. You could use little mason jars if you have. Sometimes they're little teeny empty containers from different stores, but you can do that. So hang on 1 minute. All right, so what I like to do, I have my rock, and my rock has its little black circle in it. I find that if you do the initial black circle, the colors show up better, and your things show up, your dots show up better. So here we go. I am going to start out with a bit of a bigger dot. I like a bigger one in the middle. And I have my little sheet here, which will be downloadable. So if you go to southbayartiststudio.com and look under southbayartiststudio.com and look under Sanity Art Kits, there should be a download page, and all of our templates are there to download. So I take my white, and sometimes I practice on my paper. So I don't know if this is showing up, but I may take white, and I'm gonna decide how I'm gonna do this. So I take my secondary size, and I go top, bottom, side, side to set my pattern. Okay, so if I were doing it with a marking pen, it would look like this. Dot, 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 dot. So there's the set of my pattern. And now I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna change the camera angle, and I will go through and I will show you exactly how I do it. So now that I've got my paint set up and my rock is prepped, I am going to start with my large dot in the center. And I think what I'll do is I'll go with this green right here, and I'll test it so that my dot is the right shape. And I'm going to put that right in the middle. And if you notice, it's not quite perfect, but I'm not going to worry about it because I'm going to let that dry. I have my paper towels over here. And I like to have my little paper towel here. And then I am going to do my dots around the top. So I think what I'll do is I'll do turquoise. I'll do 1, 2, then I'm going to take a little bigger one and I'm going to do if for some reason you don't like what's happening, you know, you can go ahead and wash it off and start over. Acrylic paint doesn't dry so quickly, and if you happen to have something like nail polish remover, you can use that too. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to highlight a little bit. I'm going to just put a few dots in between these ones. And again, they do not all have to be perfect. That's the beauty of this. It's whatever happens to work. And whatever you feel is working. So again, I usually use 3 colors just to start, but I'm kind of liking this white in here, right over the blue. Kind of adding a little bit of a pop. And you know what I'm gonna do? I feel like my green, you see that? I feel like my green is giving a little shape. So I may, once that dries, I'm gonna add a little pop in there too. But I might go back in a minute and add a few more larger dots or additions. But right now, I think I'll go with a green set of dots through here. Maybe a bigger one in the middle. And there. So I do 1, 2, 3, bigger in the middle. 1, 2, 3, bigger in the middle. Now the other thing is, if you didn't buy the kit from us that included the rocks, you can go scavenging outside. Make sure that you are in your yard or your parents know where you are, and make sure that you're not taking rocks from anybody's beautiful garden. But you can find things. You know, sometimes I paint on driftwood. Sometimes I use whatever happens to be around. And again, just hanging out and doing dots. Very, very calming. And sometimes I don't change tools. Sometimes I use the same size tool and just make my dots by rotating the tool around and making it a bigger dot. Just depends on what kind of a mood I'm in. Again, this is a pretty simple pattern. You're just evenly putting your dots between the dots that you've already put in. So here we go, a little more. And then I am going to all about symmetry. I might have been off right there, but that's all right. So there is the beginning. And now I like to go through and add there you go. There is our Zentangle. Sorry. There you go. There's our mandala stone. And I could keep adding, and maybe I will. But right now, I hope you have a great day. Stay safe and enjoy. Take care. See you soon. Bye. So one of the things I wanted to tell you about and explain is that you don't always have to have the kit. We do sell these kits with all the dotting tools, but you don't need to use that. There are plenty of things around your house that you can use that make perfect little dots. So one of the things is a toothpick. So the end of a toothpick makes a really great fine point dot. Also, you can use a nail, which gives you a graduated size. And if you put the end of the nail head in there, you also get a perfect little dot. Now, there's a few other things. The end of a paintbrush or a larger paintbrush, a pencil eraser. So it's kind of like a scavenger hunt. You can look around and see what you can find, and you can use that for your dots, for your mandala painting. Also, I sometimes like to use canvases, different sizes of canvases. I also like to use watercolor paper. So if you want to use markers and pens, and there are all kinds of options. So look around, make sure you ask your parents if you can use the things that you're finding. But be creative and be your most creative self. But most of all, be safe.